Hi guys, my name is Ted Bass and this is Asperger's coaching channel. I have an Asperger syndrome. I have diagnosed it myself and expert confirmed it. This channel is intended for all those people who live with Asperger, people with Asperger syndromes. We like to be called as Aspies, so I will call it too. So, for people who live with Aspies, for parents of Aspies, for Aspies, for all those interested in Asperger syndrome, and for nerds, because I am a nerd too. In this video, I will be speaking about superpowers in Asperger's. What are the superpowers? I call superpowers the abilities, the sufficiencies people with Asperger's have. What's the story about this? Some people believe that God or nature or whatever gave all the people the same amount of qualities. And of course there are differences with people, but some people are more capable in one field, and other people are more capable on another field. And the thing is that people with Asperger's, that is Aspies, have deficiencies in cognitive empathy, for example. Cognitive empathy means that somebody is capable of understanding, in his mind, with his brain actually, how other people feel, and we don't have this. But there is also emotional empathy, and people with Asperger's are much stronger in the field of emotional empathy. That means that if we see someone who is suffering, we become alert, we try to help him or her, we try to understand, and so on. So in psychopaths, for example, psychopaths don't have emotional empathy but have cognitive empathy. That means quite the opposite as people in Asperger's. But still, not having cognitive empathy is still deficiency, and it's much more difficult to live if we don't have this. Then another deficiencies in Asperger, which are quite typical, are problems in communication and problems of understanding social contexts. What does this mean, understanding of social contexts? If people are neurotypical, that means they don't have Asperger's or any other kind of autism, they tend to understand social contexts naturally. That means that if there are people communicating with something in certain roles and so on, they understand it automatically. We, who are Aspies, who have Asperger's, do not understand this automatically. Therefore, we have to struggle, we have to observe, we have to learn, we need repetitions. And these are all our deficiencies. However, even though experts don't quite agree with me, because experts say that some people with Asperger's have sufficiencies and some people don't, I don't think that this is true. In fact, I believe that all the people get the same amount of abilities and that all people with Asperger syndrome have some kind of sufficiencies. The thing is that some people don't discover that. Some Aspies never discover that because they don't receive help from their surroundings, because we Aspies need help from our surroundings, especially when we are children, because we struggle much more than other people. We all struggle in childhood, but those who are Aspies struggle even more. And these sufficiencies can be sometimes real magic, For example, if we consider a typical example of somebody with Asperger's, a textbook Aspie. This is the character Sheldon Cooper from The Big Bang Theory. Yes, you heard it right, he has Asperger's. The authors of the series said that he doesn't have Asperger's, that he has such character, but I don't buy it, because he's a typical Aspie. And you know, he looks like he's from another world. And why is this the case? Because he's so intelligent. Sheldon Cooper has an IQ of 187. And the thing is that those people with Asperger's find it hard to connect with the remaining of the population, and those who are highly intelligent also tend to have difficulties with connecting with the remainder of population. And Sheldon Cooper is highly intelligent and has Asperger's. That's why he looks like he's an alien on this planet. And they joke in the series about this feature of his. But in fact, he also have a lot of sufficiencies. He's a remarkable scientist. He can do things other people can only imagine to do. And my observation is that more somebody with Asperger's tries to fit into the remainder of the population, less he or she can use these sufficiencies of his or hers. And these sufficiencies I call superpowers. I call it superpowers because these are sufficiencies in comparison to neurotypical population. And to give an example, I will speak about me and my superpowers as a child. When I was a child, when I was 7 years old, I knew how to read. I have no idea when I learned to read, because I learned it so early. But when I was in the first grade of the elementary school, I actually read between 200 and 300 pages of books, and such books as children in the 7th or 8th grade of the elementary school were reading. It was amazing for some people how a child so young can read a lot, so you know, a lot of literature. And once, when I was in the 3rd grade, I read all my books and I was bored. And then I got the newspaper and started to read international relations. That means foreign policy. And then I was reading it. You know, I was 10 years old and I understood everything. So later I graduated from international relations. And, you know, because I was always very interested in political science and politics and so on. And if I was neurotypical, if I wasn't Aspie, surely when I was 10 years old, it wouldn't happen, you know, but it did. The next power of Asperger's is the power of adaptation. You know, all people who have Asperger's have to have the power of adaptation, because if you don't have the power of adaptation, you are not a highly functional autist. You know, you don't have Asperger's. But in my case, this superpower of adaptation was so big that when I first spoke with an expert who later diagnosed me as an Aspie, she said that it's impossible that I have an Asperger's syndrome because I was too successful in my life. But later, this expert told me that this was due to my incredible power of adaptation. And this is so interesting, this power of the adaptation, that I will speak about it in one of the next videos. Then the next superpower of mine was, this is connected with reading, is also the superpower of writing. I'm a very, very good writer. I can write a story, let's say in political science, in about an hour, about 7,000 characters. And then I just correct some mistakes. This is connected with me reading really, really a lot. And the next superpower of mine was the power of the analysis. I'm very, very analytical person. I analyze everything. And wherever I go, wherever I come, I analyze things. And because I was interested in social sciences for so long, I was very keen, on analyzing this politics, international politics, and so on. And sometimes I joke that I have similar vision of society and its laws of nature, as I see this society which surrounds me similarly like Neo from The Matrix saw The Matrix. I can see beyond, and other neurotypical people cannot do that. I was also a coach for some time in my past. I was teaching English one-on-one for about 15 years. And it's really amazing because according to theory, it's impossible for someone who is on autism spectrum to do that. But I was able to do that, because I was so analytical. I was learning very quickly. However, in the field of emotion, I was very, very bad. And some of my customers, especially if we were younger, they started to cry, because I wasn't good at emotions. When I saw that they're crying, of course, I helped them and I was compassionate. But before that, I didn't know that. However, I was still very, very successful in the field. And of course, I had no idea that I have Asperger's, because in fact, I realized that about 2 years ago, and now I'm 50, so when I was 48 years old, I realized that I have an Asperger's. So this is it about my abilities. In my next video, I will be speaking about superpowers in my children, who both are Aspies, both have Asperger's syndrome, and they are quite different from me. I don't have that superpowers because we with Asperger's are really, really different from each other. So the next video perhaps will be one of the first videos useful for the people who have children with Asperger's. So I strongly recommend it. I hope this was helpful. I hope that you enjoyed it, and until the next time. Bye.